Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we have a great one for you. We're going to go over 3 virtual headsets that are coming out in 2022 this year that you need to know about. We're going to get into it. So get ready, headset, go. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm Tony Hansen, joined by Rob Sprance, as always. And today we're going over a lot of great things. We're going to start right into the headsets of VR. VR is exploding this year, and Rob Sprance is a excellent master of VR, and he's in it 24/7. Do you ever come out to real life, Rob?
I do for the show, yeah.
Just for the show, and you go back into your chamber?
I've been playing like a lot of Skyrim VR lately. Like I'm
yes.
Like, especially on the PC, like it's all modded out, so it looks like a modern day game with the graphics, and like there's mods that let you use your hands and see your feet and everything. It's like I've never finished the game as many times as I played it flat, and it's like the deepest I've gotten into it. So like it's to the point where you can actually, when you're talking to NPCs, there's a mod that lets you actually answer instead of selecting the option. So you see the options and you can just say it. And I'm not that point yet of embarrassment, but there are once in a while I'll say, "Take me to the dragons." I just like, wow, that was cool. But I'm usually just selecting it because I don't want to be talking to myself in the middle of a room.
Wow, it's awesome that there seems to be like all like the the 360 treadmill thing where you can walk on. I've seen for the hands, for the body, and we're getting closer to Ready Player One every single day. It's just awesome because I cannot wait to be able to immerse myself into one of those games.
I know I'm not buying the treadmill thing for me because I don't know. I like walking with the thumbstick. Like, I don't know. It looks like a cool concept, but I'm playing Skyrim for like 4 hours. I'm going to walk across Skyrim too.
So as a gamer who's getting older, I find that when I'm playing these games long, we had a conversation before just like about this. Yeah. And when I'm playing for hours, it hurts after a while. So I'm thinking, you know what? Why do I have to do an exercise when I can get my exercise in the world of Skyrim?
Good point. It's a good point. At least it's more exciting than, well, even so, like I'm standing and I'm swinging my arm and swinging my sword. I know it's not
a bit of a workout.
It's not real working out, but for me, that counts as a major workout.
If you're moving your body, at least it's something. It's better than.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know when I'm getting tired when I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna hit this guy with fireball spells from across. I'm not even gonna bother hitting him with this.
Right. That's right. You can be a wizard. You can be lazy. Yes. There you go. Yes. You die. You're dead.
Yeah, exactly. But so you mentioned that we've got some new headsets to talk about. And you're right. VR is starting to finally blow up thanks to, huge part, I have to say, Oculus, Facebook. They made a cheap-ass headset to get it into as many people's hands as they possibly could, and that is kicking it off. And I'm starting to see a lot. Steam announced that they just hit 3 million headsets playing VR on Steam, and a major portion of that, I don't know if it's like 40%, I don't have the numbers, but a good proportion of that is Oculus Quest.
Right.
Which leads me to believe, as much as I'm hard on the Quest because it's, it's cheaper graphics and it's kind of looks a little kiddie-ish compared to other headsets, I have to be honest, if it's leading to the gateway drug to higher levels of VR and it's getting more people in it, more developers to make games, then I'm all for it.
I think it's the chosen one, kind of. It's the one that people got into. It's like after a while in the beginning when you don't know where to go, there's a couple of options. You start listening to word of mouth, and I think that's the one that kind of travels around.
Yeah, very true. Well, my gateway drug was the PSVR, the PlayStation VR, which is very long in the tooth now. It was very cumbersome. There were wires everywhere. It used the PlayStation camera and these glowing balls to track you, but it was one of the first that got adopted by the mainstream. The Oculus was very niche, and these other headsets were very, very niche. And then the PSVR came out, and people dug it. But when you went to set it up, it became so annoying. There was a breakout box, like it was a setup. And the tracking wasn't very good because it's following these balls around and shit.
Right.
But PlayStation has now announced the PlayStation VR 2. And the VR2 also, let me throw this up here on the screen. The PlayStation VR2 is a whole different ball game. First of all, it's going to work with the PS5, which has incredible graphics. And they have really made some innovations here. You can see these controllers if you're watching. If you're just listening, I'll explain. But they have like these orb type controllers now. It's full inside out tracking. You no longer need cameras. You no longer need the glowing balls. There's like these two ergonomic controllers here, and here's another look at them. And they finally have thumbsticks. At one point they had these terrible Move controllers, which just were absolutely awful. They were made at the time to compete with the Wii, and nobody bought it, so they repurposed them as VR controllers, which was a terrible idea. So now they have these controllers that have the same great haptic feedback that the new PS5 controllers have, but even the headset has haptics. So the headset's going to vibrate in addition to your controllers. It's 4K HDR display, 2000 by 2040 OLED displays. So you're getting incredibly dark blacks, like black OLED black, which is also pretty rare for most headsets. 120 frames a second, which is also great. The field of view is now 110. For those of you who want to know field of view, that's basically the width of your view in a headset. And it does play a big part because the wider the field of view, the more realistic it seems. Something like the Oculus Quest, I think, has like an 85 to 90 degree field of view. So you kind of get like you're looking through a tube a little bit. If you move it closer to your face, you lose a little bit of that. But this 110 field of view is very, very nice. And I'm going to talk about another one that even has a wider one that's coming. It has eye tracking. So it tracks where your eyes are going at any given time. Now, this could be used for a couple of different things. It could be used to fine-tune the resolution to exactly where your eyes are looking so that you can get the most out of the
sharp detail where you're actually gazing,
right, where you're looking. But I got to also think that it can track it for things like VR chat and, you know, metaverse type of things where you're looking at someone, you roll your eyes, they're going to see you roll your eyes in real life, which will happen with me frequently. But
I imagine that technologies could be used in the future just for marketing and such. They'll probably sell that data to ads and games and such. And
right. Oh, absolutely. And, you know, when Oculus comes out with it, that's all they're going to do with it. Facebook. But the resolution is going to be gorgeous. It's one single USB-C cable from the headset to the PS5, and that's it. It has,
oh wow,
yeah. So there's no more whole combination of it. I know a lot of people complain about wires, but a single wire to me has never been a problem. I'd gladly sacrifice that for way better graphics, and that's exactly what you're going to get here. I
like that it's not the HDMI, it's USB-C, which is much easier to get because I think a lot of people have limited opportunity to get the HDMIs in. You know, maybe you have one, maybe you have two. How many have more than that?
Yeah, and there's a port right in the front. There's a USB port, so they knew it was coming.
Yeah,
USB-C port right in the front of the unit. You plug it right in. It has the 3D audio, and now I have those PS5 headphones that supposedly have this incredible 3D audio, and I'm going to agree with them. It is fantastic. So the combination of the haptics on that PS5 controller and that 3D audio, Tony, I have like a full literal 7.1 screening room in my house to play games with a huge screen, and I use the headphones over that when I play on the PS5. That's how good the audio is in those headsets. So the fact that they're bringing that to this as well. Here's another look at these controllers. You can see how they're kind of these orbs. They have an ergonomic design, and they're also going to detect your fingers anywhere you touch, your thumbs. Even if you don't press the buttons, it will still know where your fingers are. The controllers I have for the Valve Index, they do the same thing. So you can actually, give somebody the peace sign or do any combination with your fingers that you like, but it'll also just know when you're resting on the thumbstick. What they can do with that, is up to developers, but it's a really cool thing to have too.
I wonder if the orb design, besides looking very futuristic, is also there to protect the hand, because you might swing your hand out. At least you'll make contact with the orb instead of your hand.
Yeah, possibly. For those looking at this photo here, The one thing that I'm noticing versus the Valve Index controllers is that this controller still, there's a wrist strap on each hand that this person's using. They have a wrist strap on it,
Right.
so it doesn't look like you have the ability to completely let go of the controller and still keep it stationary. Whereas with the Valve Index, there's a hand strap on the back of each hand. So you can literally do an open palm by opening your palm, and the controller will not leave your hands. I guarantee you third-party people will come up with a way to keep them in there all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Index controllers are the industry standard, because you can literally keep your hands flat and out, and the controllers will stay in place. And then as you move your fingers, it tracks where they are. So
Crazy.
yeah, so this entire headset is just over and above. This was the sleeper that I keep talking about, is people keep forgetting PSVR, and because of how archaic the original one is and how the resolution is so much lower. But I've got news. This thing looks fantastic, and they have not confirmed or denied this, but there are rumors going around that you will be able to connect this to a PC and play PC VR as well. If they do that, they have a home run. I can't even begin to explain with these specs. If it all plays out the way it's supposed to, and it is as good as the marketing is telling us, this is going to be a great headset.
I have to say that it doesn't surprise me that that PS would come and actually maybe perhaps win, which they could with this, because they seem like whenever they're making the PlayStations, they were always concentrated highly on technology, and not just for today. They almost like were making the console that had everything and would make the Xbox look like it had to catch up. And the Xbox was always fighting to catch up. But then there's always a difference between people like, well, this is awesome, but I don't know if I need all of this. And
Right.
the Xbox was more like, well, the Xbox just comes up a little bit, we'd be happy with Xbox. But now we're talking about VR, which is like everyone wants you to go as far as you can go with the technology. And with that, with the mindset of what PlayStation was doing in the past, that makes me believe that they may do a good job here.
Yep, and in my opinion, Microsoft really dropped the ball a couple of years ago, because they flat out said they're not interested in VR. There's not really much of a market for it for the Xbox. But now all of a sudden they're like, well, you know what? We're looking at it. They had such a prime opportunity. They could, when Facebook bought Oculus, they could have said, hey, bring your headset to us as well, and you can use it standalone, and you can plug it into an Xbox, and we don't have to develop our own headset. And
Right.
they would have crushed it. But instead, they just felt like they didn't believe in the technology, or there wasn't enough people for it. And I agree, it's a hard tech to sell if you've never had the headset on your head. It's really that simple. You can't describe it to someone who hasn't done it. Oh, it's amazing you're there, but they can't understand it, because maybe they just think there's a screen closer to your face, but they don't get
Right.
that it's 3D and that it's full field of view and
Right.
you can walk around and all this stuff. And it did a disservice by when Google Cardboard and all these other things that let you put a phone on your face.
Yes, that was a step backwards. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of people now go, oh, I tried that. It's okay. I tried the Google Cardboard. No, you didn't try anything, dude.
You tried a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, so that's one of the three headsets that were introduced that I'm excited about. This second one, it just kind of seems a little, actually the next two seem a little too good to be true. But this one, there's a specific reason why I was pretty excited about it. And this is a company that's owned by Panasonic. They're called, hold on, let me show that. Okay, they're called Shiftall, which really looks like Shitfail if you look really closely. Which
Looks like steampunk.
Yeah, right. But if you look at this headset here, and again, you can check out the video version on YouTube. I highly recommend it, because we're showing all this stuff here. This is a much lower profile headset than any other headset I've seen.
Yeah.
That has specs similar to a next gen headset. It's full 5.2K. It's got 120 hertz. It's got inside out tracking. It's got full 6 stuff where you can move your head anyway, and you can move your head back and forth, and the image doesn't go with it. Like, you can move inside the world. It works with Steam VR. It uses, again, a single USB-C with a display port with USB 2. The specs on this are also really, really good. However, the one thing that they have not announced is what the field of view is. And I think it must be very, very narrow because of the way I'm looking at this, because everything else about this sounds too good to be true. So I have a feeling that it might be there might be a very, very narrow field of view, but this looks incredibly light. This is as close I've seen a headset come to being just a pair of glasses, but it's made for Steam. Like the Vive Focus and these others, they do look like a pair of glasses, but they're not made just to play Steam VR games and everything that Steam VR comes with. It even has HDR images. So this was one that when I saw it, I was like, ooh, I would absolutely try that. But I am very concerned about the field of view because they did not announce it with the specs, and that's always a bad sign.
Now you're saying this is HDR, but meanwhile the PlayStation 1 was actually like a 4K resolution into a 2040 dimension.
Yeah, well, this is very similar, actually. And I have a comparison that I'll bring up at the end here to show you the comparison between the three of them. But this is actually pretty close in resolution, too, to the PSVR. But, you know, it's just the fact that it looks like such a light profile. And we haven't seen the PSVR headset yet. They've only showed images of the controllers, and they described what the headset is, but they have not shown it to anyone. So we don't know how physically large that is. PSVR 1 was one of the most comfortable headsets I ever had. It used just a halo strap where the piece kind of hung in front of your face, unlike like the Quest 2, which is a big battery on the bridge of your nose for hours on end if you're playing it that long. So this is what I'm excited about, just because this is where the profile is going to start to go as time goes on. Much smaller, much more like glasses.
I think no matter what, even if it's not, you know, the one to come out and take over, who knows if that one it will exist soon. It's going to be the one that it will help us move to the next thing. People will use that as the example.
Right, exactly. And you know, just the fact that people are starting to try to get next gen stuff into smaller headsets is a big deal. But this brings me to the next one. Now, there's a company that makes headsets right now. Pimax is their name. They've been around for a while, a Chinese company. They're known for headsets with an incredibly wide field of view, almost to the point where you don't realize you have a headset on in the width. Like it's almost wider than the human eye. I think it's 210 the human eye, or 200 degrees. So they're known for that. But they put out a video of a headset that's coming out at the end of the year. That one thing about Pimax is they announce things and they announce all these features, and sometimes they don't pan out, or it gets delayed, or it's not as good as they promised. But I'm going to queue up the video and I want to play it and pause this, because if I could write down everything I wanted a dream headset to be, this would be it, which is why I don't think it's going to be as good as they say it is. And let me go ahead and share this video. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to play it and pause it. And if you want me to pause it too, Tony, just let me know.
Sure.
So here is the video from Pimax Reality. And again, if you're on audio, you're missing
12K.
Oh yeah, 12K. So here we go.
12K. Okay.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. We're gonna go through the features.
What happened to 9, 10, 11?
Now, if you're listening to the audio, I'm going to anything that's important. I'm gonna also say what it is and pause it. But here's this headset.
I'm excited.
Okay, so first of all, you're looking at a very wide field of view. They have full acoustic speakers on the inside, full 6-DoF inside-out tracking, 4x cameras for an ultra-wide field of view on the cameras themselves too. So for tracking, they're taking advantage of the fact, as you can see, this headset is incredibly wide to give you that field of view. So the cameras on it to track give you a wider tracking range as well. But we're just getting started here.
Does this, before you continue, does this utilize sensors around the room?
Well, this will not require it, but controllers probably will. They'll probably they're going to ship controllers with this, but you can still mix it with any other Steam controllers. So if you have base stations already and you have like Valve Index, you can use this headset with those controllers if you wanted to.
So you could benefit from multiple technology to kind of combine it.
Correct. Which is kind of what I do now, but it's more of a hack than just what it's supposed to do.
Right.
So here we go. All right, so those are the controllers. That's how it does the tracking with that.
Oh, clever.
Including the headset, which is what most headsets do. So, you know, it's not anything crazy here that they're talking about. Now, they have the microphones. There's 3 microphones in this thing that are noise canceling. So, I mean, just for any kind of remote VR chat, metaverse stuff, or even just talking in Call of Duty and insulting someone is going to be apparently incredibly clear here. But we're just getting started again. Right, so the strap's adjustable. That's not a big deal. But, Tony, look at the lenses. Look at how wide those lenses are. Like, that's why the field of view is so big. Like, it's literally almost to your temples. Those lenses.
If they solve the problem of the weight distribution not being so heavy in the front, and they work it out in the back, that'll be fine. If they don't, it's going to be cumbersome.
Yeah, possibly. And there's more. We're only 30 seconds into a 3-minute video of features. So strap it up. Strap in. Okay. So here it says custom. It said comfortable for most head shapes. Swappable cushions on the back of the headset. Right. And swappable rear battery. It's also a standalone headset that can act like the Quest and run games locally.
Oh, great.
And this doesn't do it like the Quest does, where when you connect it to the PC, it's just streaming it. It's the complete opposite of that. This is literally doing both. So you can put batteries, and if you notice, it's smart. The battery is in the back of the headset, which answers your comfort question.
Right.
Because now all of a sudden it's balancing the headset out. So the
weight, it's a good spot for it.
Right. There are people modding the Quest with these headsets and putting big batteries in the back just for the purpose of balancing the thing out and keeping the battery off your face.
This is both. It could be wired or not, or it's just wireless.
No, it could be both. We're going to keep going here. This is why this was the one I was most excited about. But at the same time, it's almost like too good to be true. So
yeah, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, see, it says improve weight distribution with the batteries. Native PCVR via fiber optic cable. Native. And they made a point to use that word, which means it's sending the video signal directly to the lenses. This is something I feel that Oculus really dropped the ball on. So if you want to connect your Oculus to PCVR, you're getting streamed over USB. And I don't care how good you set it, you see compression artifacts like you were streaming video. This is native PCVR. Again, another wish list item checked off.
Wow.
Still going. All right, so now they're taking this thing apart and showing a little more about it. So it's a different lens, bionic lens system. So breakthrough. So I guess this is a different type of lens. Most of these headsets now have Fresnel lenses, which can cause God rays. Like if you look around, let's say you have a black background and white, you can actually see reflections on the lenses of that. Right. So apparently this lens system will do away with that. There is motors that adjust the IPD in and out. No slider. It's an actual IPD adjustment that automatically uses your eye tracker.
Wow.
And adjusts the lenses to your eyes. So
that's handy.
So we're talking about eye tracking. This also has eye tracking, and they only waited a minute to drop that.
Yep.
So now the eye tracking is going to let you put it on. It senses the center of your pupils, and it's going to adjust the lenses to give you the best depth of field that you can get. That's pretty dope. And we continue. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so 2 cameras built in for eye tracking. So either side has its. So it's they're tracking both eyes. Okay, now here's the field of view. The limit of human vision is 220 field of view. Regular VR and VR 2.0 is 170. This thing is 200 wide, 200 degrees field of view. and the human eye can only pick up 220 max. So
Right.
basically your entire field of view is now filled with image, and that's probably because of those lenses. So all of a sudden now, I mean, the whole thing. Now, the GPU you're going to need to drive this thing, you're going to need at least a 3080 and maybe even the next gen.
Right.
But it's very exciting. Keep going here. So it's just showing you different. So even the field of view,
even the up and down,
top to bottom, where a lot of the other headsets still struggle to go between 90 and 110, it has 135 field of view vertically. Imagine this.
I've never experienced that kind of view yet on VR, but they must be confident of how much that enhances the experience.
Oh, it will, because you know, one thing that always kind of ruins the illusion just a little is that you see the edges of the lenses. You're not going to see any of that now. If what they promise is what they deliver. Are you still going? Should I keep going? Because there's more.
Keep going.
All right. So now, it's showing you what the field of view looks like. It's giving you different examples of that. So you see how even in the way they show how it spreads everything out. So now the panel itself, QLED with mini LED technology, local dimming, and HDR. So it's pretty much the dream type of panels as well. So you get the deepest of deepest blacks and HDR over and above that. So now we're getting to resolution here. 12K is 120 million 0.4 subpixels, right? Which is 4K headsets, which we have now, is 24 million. So they're showing all the different resolutions here. Look at, I mean, you're losing all the screen door effect completely. So here's some more specs they're putting native versus standalone. So it looks like if you use the headset standalone and you don't plug it in PC, it goes down, but it's still between 5 and 8.
It's still super high, which you might find on another headset. They're way above it.
Right. The refresh rate still goes to 120. Now, PC VR, the max refresh rate is 200 hertz, which is just unheard of. Like 120 on the index, I think, is the highest that things go right now, and that is pushing it. And so your field of view also does go down too. For standalone mode, you go down to 150, which is still, that field of view is still way bigger than most.
It's still impressive as a standalone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess because it's running on battery, they can't drive it as much. So now they have cooling fans inside it. So these cooling fans are going to keep you cool. And it has a Qualcomm XR2 Snapdragon chip inside the thing. So it's definitely competing with the Quest and then some on that as well. Plus their own.
This has to be the highest one out there now, technology-wise.
I mean, it's like I said, it's literally like they wrote down my dream headset here. Now look at this. See this little thing that's plugging into the top?
Yeah.
What is that, Tony?
No idea.
WiGig module. So you can play PC VR wireless as well if you wanted to. So go ahead.
Give me an example.
Okay, so I use standalone mode. The games were running inside the headset. I want to play much better, higher fidelity games and everything that we talked about and take advantage of all of that. I have to plug it into the PC to get a direct cable. Or do I? Because this one now will give you a module that you plug into the PC, another one that you plug into the headset, and it sends the video signal wirelessly to the headset as well. So
wow. So is this giving you the same numbers as when it's plugged in?
That they haven't clarified yet. I have to think it's going to have a little bit of compression to send the signal.
It seems like it's a go-between. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, so you see here, there's a Pimax Vr Station. That's actually, they call it a portable VR powerhouse with a built-in WiGig module. So basically, you're connecting this module to your PC, and then you're plugging this thing in, and you're basically transmitting the video signal for PC VR to the headset. That's insane. Like, that's
incredible.
It's giving you everything that you want. right? Tracking, okay, ultimate tracking system. So this is getting also facial expression tracking now, okay? I'm in VR chat. I smile. It picks up my smile. I open my mouth. Ooh, it picks that up. It picks up the rest of your facial expressions and can send it through the software too.
Wow.
So every, you know, we always talk about how the spine of this show is about metaverse completely. And that is something I think is really going to play a big part, because you can have the same facial expressions in reality, and your avatar can mirror everything instead of just your mouth now.
Definitely seems like they're covering pretty much everything you would ever want.
Okay, yeah, lip tracking camera. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm worried about, Tony. It just seems too good to be true. So there's a lip tracking camera. There's also a price issue, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, how many mortgages do I have to take out?
Full body tracking. Okay, so in addition to tracking your lips, tracking your eyes, tracking your face, there are 2 cameras on the bottom that track your legs and your body. So if I'm in VR chat on a dance floor, every part of my body is getting tracked and moving accordingly. People have to right now strap things to their wrists, to their legs, to their waist for it.
Right.
So, crazy shit. See, there's a great example of a fake example. Now, on top of that, they also add a deluxe speaker module, which can go on top in the standard package. So now instead of just regular, you have those over-ear speakers, very similar to the Valve Index, which are excellent, the Reverb G2. So you can get the full, so it's fully compatible with the Steam VR tracking 1 and 2, which is currently what I have, and most people who have a Valve Index have those lighthouses or Steam VR tracking 1 and 2. So I can literally just plug this headset in and use it with my existing base stations and everything. Now there's cellular 5G cover. You can change the covers in the face of it and get different functions out of it now. So that lit thing in the front. Hold on, let me go back here for a second. 1, mixed reality MR cover. So you can interact with objects in virtual reality if you put this cover on. I don't know what that means, but it sounds awesome.
I was curious if it meant that it's like augmented reality, where you're interfacing with your own.
Good point. Those cameras turn on, mixed augmented. That makes total sense. Yep, you're absolutely right. And then you can change it and get a cellular 5G cover, which I guess lets you play the standalone games with 5G wireless. And there it is on this happy guy's head. Now look at how huge that field of view is. Look how wide.
You know what? The way he puts it on, though, you could tell it's not as heavy as it might look.
Yeah.
I feel like the only down would be the size, but it doesn't seem like it'll be a big factor. And then what's the demographic going to be? Are they going to get you might not get the people, coming into virtual reality. You're going to get the people that are in it and want that step up.
Yep. You're going to get the idiot like me. That's about
right.
That will, and again, we're going to get to the price in a second here. So this gives you some just examples of what it's going to look like, and it shows a guy playing. Like, one more thing. Customized microscope ultra short throw projector, right? I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know if they're going to explain that, but it has a micro projector inside it. The
short throw projectors are great when you actually watch the movies. They can sit like 16 inches away from the wall. So I'm curious what they're going to project onto.
Right, but why? Like, what are they going to use it for? Micro LED. So let's see if they show what you would do with it. Oh, here we go. So it looks like freeform lens, nano. I don't know what's happening here. Like, they're just taking.
Perhaps maybe they're doing it so that you could project what you're watching onto a wall, so someone else can watch.
Oh my god, that's amazing! That could very well be. That could very well be.
I'm not sure I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's hard to tell what they're.
Maybe they're just showing you how it reaches your eyes.
That could be. I'm going to reach out to Pimax and see if I can get an answer on exactly what that is. But, you see here, like, it's a dream headset across the board. This is, if I had to draw what I wanted a headset to be and write it up. So
that's it. I mean, like, what are you?
There's the price, though.
Yikes.
$23.99 is how much it costs. Now, if you purchase right now any of Pimax's other headsets, this is one thing that's kind of cool. They have a 5K one. They have a bunch of different ones. If you purchase the 5K, which is like $900 or $800, when you buy the 12K, they're going to credit you the entire price of the 5K.
Smart.
Or any headset. So if I spend $1,000 on a Pimax headset today, when this comes out, I literally get $1,000 off.
Very smart.
But again, $23.99 is expensive, right? It's very expensive. This is not early adopters. This is for full enthusiasts.
Right.
But I wanted to take the time with this video because this shows the dream VR of what it could be and where this could go. So yeah, that's $23.99 now. In 3 years, everyone's going to have a headset with similar features that does all of this, and it's probably going to be $1,000, and it's going to come down. I just think it blew my mind, and I was waiting for the price, and I kept saying, man, this is not going to be $500 no matter what.
It looks like it's going to be amazing. It's going to be all about acceptance. Like, do people accept it? Will they pay that amount? It will have to come down. And like you and I were saying, it's definitely for the enthusiasts that are in it now and not for the beginner, because they're not going to care or realize. They're going to want a starter, and they're going to be like, you know what, we're on a couple $100, and then those are going to be winning for a while. It looks like that 2022 into 2023 is going to be very bright and hopefully very big for VR. So this will do it for Ready, Headset, Go. I'm Tony Hansen, joined by Rob Sprance, and we'll see you next time on the show. Thanks.